Hello, welcome back to our series of rapid games with comments. We're gonna search for a new 10-minute game. We're at 21-16 at this point. Our opponent's 2000. Okay, he plays e4. I will continue with e5. I will continue with classical openings. I know most of you guys probably play e5 against e4. Well, now I remember I had some other requests. For now, I will stick to this, but I promise I will get to other openings. Well, c3, the idea is d4. Normally, every time white plays c3 very early in the opening here, it's, of course, with the idea of playing d4. And if I take, they take back, and they have a nice pawn center. So the thing is, e4 is harder to defend now, because knight c3 is not available. So I play knight f6, attack the e4 pawn, and he has an awkward situation where, well, he can push, definitely, but now e4 is hanging, so I have to figure out how I will take on e4. I may be able to do it now. There's both d takes e or d5, and that's probably fine for me. I mean, I can go back. If he pushes d5, I can go back, but I'm inclined to taking, which should also be okay. If he pushes, no problem, I will jump into e4. That's what I will do. And if he takes on d4, this time I will always have d5. And the knight is well supported here. So yeah, no problem. I can play d5 here. And I think this is more or less all right. Bishop d3 probably coming. Now I'm thinking of bishop g4 to set up a pin on that f3 knight with pressure on d4. And this is probably fine. I don't know if my decision to take on d4 first was the strongest. Maybe knight takes e4 is without playing e takes d4 first was good enough. But this is also right. I don't think there should be any problems with this. I want to take here, and if he goes queen e2, I might just castle, because if he takes my knight, he gets pinned on the e-file. I mean, my priority here is to get the king out of the e-file as quickly as I can. He will probably play bishop d3 though. Against bishop takes d6, I fully expect him to go bishop d3. And then I'm thinking, should I pull back? Then he might have a check, but I can easily cover. There's no problem there. So I will just take. I mean, the most principal thing is to take and develop the bishop in the process. So I will. And I think he has to do this. And then castle. Yeah, that's fine. He plays well. Well, there are a couple of reasonable ideas. I don't know if bishop b4 check is great. He might get to play knight bd2. And I might be alright with some exchanges. After all, he has this... in the long run, that pawn could become a weakness. It's an IQP, an isolated queen's pawn. I'm also thinking of bishop f5, though this situation seems a bit shaky. There's no knight h4 that attacks my bishop because I have the queen there. I don't know if I want to commit myself to that though. I'm a bit hesitant here, but there might be a problem. d5, and if knight e7, he has bishop takes. And if bishop takes, queen a4 check, my bishop is left hanging. I have to be a bit careful. Though it must also be said that if bishop f5, d5, I might have knight b4. Even though it looks a bit weird. If bishop b5 check, I might just go back. And that's probably alright, I think. I don't know if I need to get into any of these. I might just go back and it should be okay. But there's also bishop g5 that I'm not fully comfortable with. I will play it. I will play bishop f5. I mean, I'm going for it. I don't know if it's the best, honestly. Because we've seen that there might be some tactics there. I was especially worried about this move. Because, well, I can't go back here because I lose the piece with this combination. Bishop takes e4, queen check, and it's a fork also. But as far as I see, this might be alright. I go into b4, I attack the bishop. I would really love to trade my knight for that bishop. Okay, at least I get to castle, though he can play rook to e1, I can play rook e8 myself, so it looks like it's more or less fine. Might be doing all right here. There's still no knight h4, so I don't think I will have a problem there. At the same time, it's not so easy for him to develop. Knight c3 might be the most reasonable. Okay, he's playing all the reasonable moves. I don't know if I'm too happy about this. Well, rook e8, rook e1, then I take. Is that so? Yeah, I will just support the knight there on e4. I don't mind its changes, as I was saying. This pawn in the long run is going to give me a positional advantage. Again, isolated pawn. We've seen this a lot of times in these few videos we still have about these rapid chess games. No pawns on adjacent files that can defend d4, so the pawn d4 will be weak in any endgames, especially if minor pieces are traded off. I don't want to take in every situation, because after b takes c, the pawn on d4 is suddenly defended by another one on c3, and I don't want that. I prefer this pawn to be undefended, or at least just defended by minor pieces, so I can put pressure on it in the long run. Whoa, okay. My opponent gets tactical, but it looks very shaky to me. I really distrust this move. I can take, and if he takes on f5, at the very least I see that he's losing the pawn on d5 and on d4, sorry, if I'm correct. Because I take with check, and if he takes with the queen, I just take on d4, and it's a fork against the queen and his bishop on f5. Of course, taking with the g pawn would be crazy, like knight takes g5, bishop takes f5, I take on f3, g takes f3, knight takes d4, and he can't even take the knight, because I have this trick. Bishop takes h2 check with a discovered check, and the queen falls. It looks like I'm winning a pawn at the very least, and I get a very comfortable situation. I know his tactic is based on the fact that my knight is pinned, but I'm eliminating some of the defending pieces here, so it looks really good for me. I will just take. He can't take, by the way. I will just take and defend the bishop, so he just loses the entire piece there. Okay, he takes there, but I have knight takes f3. I might be missing something though. Oh, nice. I think I missed. No, I didn't. There's still this. He can never take my knight. I was thinking knight takes d4, bishop takes h7, king takes h7, queen d3 check with a fork against my king and my knight. But he can never take my knight. I just go back to g8, queen takes d4, then I have bishop takes h2 again. So I'm safe. I can take here. And he can't just recover the pawn because his bishop's hanging. So I'm up a pawn, life's good, things are going well. I don't know, queen g4 maybe? Queen g4's coming. Or what else? I don't know what else can he play. He can play. I mean, queen d3 is also an option. I'm probably taking the bishop. This bishop will be good. It's a full open board, so I expect this bishop to be his best minor piece. And with everything being open, I think my bishop will do a much better job than his knight. Not to mention that I'm just up a pawn. So this has to be good for me. As long as the knight doesn't have supported outposts in the center, the knight suffers. And my bishop is a fantastic piece here. So, well, now I could try to force a weakness out of him, though I don't know if he's so worried about playing g3. I mean, it really helps fight against my bishop. I'm really liking the opportunity of playing rook e5, because I start a maneuver to activate the rooks, definitely, while I win time doing so, because I hit the queen, though he has this. I mean, I have to admit that. That this is a good move. He attacks my pawn. I don't want to lose that pawn. I will just play c6. This rook might give me some attacking chances, though probably not. He still has more than enough defense. I will just play c6. I'll play c6, so I don't have to worry about this. And my plan is clearly queen e7, bring the rook. That's what I will do. I have to put every single piece in play. That's what I should do now. And I'm fighting against this knight to some extent. Because d5 is unavailable now. And e4, well, e4 is not... it's not a stable square. I could easily kick that knight out of there at any point. In this case, I could take, but he gets his piece back by taking my bishop if he goes there. Okay, queen d3. I think I can get away with rook d8 because if anything, I will always have bishop c7 and the rook is defended on d8. Okay, it's looking good. His knight has absolutely no prospects. He can't really come to e4. d5 is off limits. My bishop is much better piece. My next step will probably be to, well, give some breathing room to my king. So just in case I don't get checkmated on the back rank, that's something you typically do when you get the time to do. So I'll just play h6. Because there could be in the future some line where I need my back rank not to be so weak. So I might as well do it now that white is threatening nothing. Well, he clearly wants to do this, but I think f3 looks like a bad blunder to me. And look at this. Now g3 has lost a good part of its strength, I think. And I think I even missed this rook h5 before. Well, we're going to see that. We're going to see about that. I think he still had h3 there in the previous move. We're going to see that in the analysis. But now I think this is a pretty strong move. I might be missing something. I will play rook h5 with the obvious intention of taking here. But g3, I'm calculating rook takes h2, king takes h2, bishop takes g3. The idea is that it's with check. Okay, similar situation for me here. I'm thinking of rook takes, king takes, bishop takes f4. The problem is that he might be getting a little bit too many pieces for my own good, for the queen, but I've spotted something. Okay, I can do something similar. I want this to be a tactic. For that, the bishop has to step out of this seat with check. So I'm again thinking of rook takes, king takes, bishop takes, rook takes, rook takes, rook takes. That's too many pieces, I think. That's too many pieces. If I ping his rook, he just plays g3 and do I have something? No, I have nothing. I was thinking of rook takes, king takes, check, but he has queen h3. That's what I thought I had spotted. No, nothing comes out of it. And I'm burning a lot of time, which is kind of unnecessary at this point. I think I have a much better position. I shouldn't be draining my thinking time. Okay, if what I'm calculating doesn't work, I just have to play another move, clearly. And I'm going to start playing faster. Now I really need to. Queen g3, that's good. He should definitely return. And I have to do something with this rook. This rook is, well, not in a terrible place, but I will start. My options on the H file, well, let me know where clearly. So I'm just threatening this pawn. Rook f1, I think I can take advantage of his weak back rank. Rook takes, bishop takes, and if queen takes, queen e1, and he can't defend the back rank. It's checkmate. So what else? How does he defend f4? That's lucky. I mean, I hadn't noticed that he has so much trouble defending that. So I only have 1 minute and 48 seconds. I don't know. He might play rook e1 right now. Can he do that? Oh no, rook takes f4. And he can't abandon the first rank. I just give it checkmate. Okay, I think I can play it. I will play it. Rook takes. If rook takes, bishop takes. And the weak back rank is preventing him from taking on f4. So that's the second pawn right there. Now I have to play fast. Yeah, good. He can't take. He will play queen f2. And now I have to show some endgame prowess to win this quickly. Let's see how it goes. I'm almost forcing this because I had queen c1 in any case. If I can get this in, okay, didn't work. I wanted to force this exchange. But let's see where the knight goes. Okay, he wants to get in there. Well, he can also get in here. That's annoying. I'll just play king f8, knight d6. I'll go b5 probably. Okay, now I get control of all the dark squares around. I'm going to push the knight back. He will go here. I will centralize the king or play b5 first. Yeah, play b5 so he doesn't go here. And if knight f6, I will always tend to two squares in between the knight and the bishop, and I'm controlling a lot of squares. Like if he went here, I would go back here, and I'm controlling everywhere the knight could jump. I have the knight pretty controlled now. My plan is obviously to get a pass pawn here, and that should be enough. So he trades off the... Yeah, I will go for this, even though knight... No, knight e4 never comes. I play this. Oh, my internet connection went down there for a second, I think. Now I can push. Now I think I can just push. This pawn is lost, but I will just keep pushing. I don't think he can do much about it. I think we're checkmating him in time, probably. I have to watch out though for some blockade here. Fortunately, in any case, I have the right pawn to promote on a1. That's lucky. The right bishop, I mean. So if he takes, I can check and promote, and I'm winning this endgame. I'm totally winning this endgame because my pawn promotes on a1, so I don't even need to worry about some defense of his king getting here and getting a fortress because I have the right bishop to cover this square. He's probably not even getting there though. I don't know. King d4, king d2, king c3, king d1. I get my bishop out of the way. And he has to step aside. So it might even be easier than that. He resigned. Oh, okay. Intense game. I mean, I'm taking a lot of time here again. But it went really well. Let's do the review. Let's see how it went. I'm especially curious about the opening. Well, we did really well. It says, I know you guys can't see there, it says 95% accuracy, though it can be misleading, of course. It doesn't mean you always make the best moves or not even close. So, okay, c3, the Ponziani. It can also be played on move 2. I mean, without knight f3, knight c6. And every time white plays c3, as I said, knight f6 is very principled. White does well to play with d4 because if he plays d3, that's extremely passive. He gets this defended, but we took care of this. Now we can strike the center and have a space advantage with the black pieces, which is not so common. So he played d4 instead, and I took on d4, knight takes e4 is also fine, everything's fine here. e5 and knight e4. Interestingly, that's not the move. Learn something new. Clearly not an e4 player. I mean, queen e2 is actually very annoying. I'll have to find f5 to survive. E takes f and d5. So unnecessary. The reason is, oops, sorry. The reason is if I play d5 here, e takes d, what am I doing with this? I can play f5, but then knight takes d4 and he's threatening f3. I'm not liking this. Okay, interesting stuff. Apparently the most solid move in this case was knight d5. Knight d5, interesting. If c takes d, I can play d6 and break the center as I should, trying to put pressure on e5 and get a weakness from my opponent there. And my knight is safer. If bishop c4 at any stage, I will just play knight b6 and attack the bishop, and then complete development. Okay, that's kind of new to me. So I play knight e4, which is not a mistake, but queen e2 have forced me to play very accurate. And in all honesty, I wasn't expecting it, and I'll probably play this, and after e takes d6, I'll have a very tough time defending. Well, never mind, he played c takes d, and now d5 makes total sense. Don't know if it's the best move, but it makes sense. Bishop before check is also reasonable, now that he has to play knight b d2. If I go here, he can't go knight c3 because I just take, and I have the bishop. But bishop before check, knight b d2 will be the move. Which I like, because I prefer him playing knight b d2 to play knight c3, because the knight on c3 is more active after all. So, well, d5, e takes d, yeah, that was not so great. He gets an IQP and he speeds up my development for no good reason. In knight c3, typically what white does in this situation is he attacks my best piece. I mean, my best, or at least most aggressive minor piece now is that knight on e4. So his plan should be to put pressure on it. Knight c3, bishop d3, make me take, so he takes back and defends the d4 pawn. That pawn structure will be way more solid. As it is now, I can easily attack the pawn on d4, or at least his pieces are always more or less tied down to defending it. With the pawn on c3, white can forget about it. I mean, he can just do whatever he wants with the pieces because d4 is so well defended. But e takes d, well, yeah, this was good news. I play bishop takes, bishop d3. Wow, that was tough. That was tough to realize that this move isn't the best ever. I mean, knight b d2 is what the engine wants. Well, I don't know if there's such a big difference. The engine wanted me to play this bishop b2 before check. And yeah, it's what I said during the game. The good thing about this is that I can get some exchanges in place, and that's something that I should encourage here because of the very weak IQP. This is kind of weak. If I can send this to an endgame where he doesn't get any attack here, I'm more than happy. And here queen e7, that's a very good one. Because if he trades queens, any endgames are great for me. And if he plays king f1, I'm definitely happy with this. I even took the right to castle away from him. So yeah, that would have been more accurate. Bishop f5, oh, the engine doesn't like it. I have to admit it looks rather strange. He played... Well, he castled, which is fine. I castle, which is, well, natural. I don't know why it says it's a good move. It's just, I don't see any other move. Knight c3 and rook e8. Yeah, I'm trying not to take. As I said, I don't want this pawn to be well defended again. Not if I can help it. Well, bishop g5. Yeah, that was a tactical blunder, definitely. He was more or less fine. Just playing rook e1 here. I intended knight takes. And if b takes, I have an option between taking, in which case he doesn't lose the bishop, he can take and the bishop is defended. Or I can just play queen d7 and play it from here. And white has definitely improved now with these 2 pawns, the pawn c3 defending d4. So it should be okay for me, but not as good as it was, or as it was shaping up to be if I had played bishop before check earlier. Bishop g5, well, that's definitely a blunder. He took on f5, and then I have this trick here every single time. So queen takes f3, knight takes d4, and I'm grabbing that pawn. This is what I was talking about during the game. If he wants to recover the pawn with this little trick, it's no use. I mean, I just take and go back to g8, and if he takes, I always have this trick. I always have the discovered attack, sorry, with check, and he loses the queen. So he can't do that, and I'm definitely bagging a piece here. On the next move, I'm just going back and map a bishop. So he's not taking that knight on d4, well, ever. So well, I just took, and I definitely think this is a much better piece than his knight. c6, this is all pretty much okay. I mean, as long as I don't weaken myself and I don't blunder anything, this should be always really comfortable. And h6, well, yeah, inaccurate, but from a human perspective, it's perfectly fine. I don't think he's gonna survive or anything. So h6, f3, and rook h5. Apparently it wasn't the strongest. I should play bishop c7 first. Okay, yeah, that was subtle. I should play this. It's changed rooks, and then rook h5. The threat of rook h5 is reinforced. It's very hard to defend h2, if possible at all. Oh, well, I had checkmate. What am I saying? That was even better. He can't take with the rook. I can just checkmate on the back rank. No, sorry about that. He should play queen takes d1. But I still have a rook h5, which is extremely powerful. And this is a problem now. How do you defend? g3, I just take it. The h-pawn is pinned. h3, yeah, I really trust that move. I mean, it's clear that this bishop will do some bad damage there, even though I don't see anything immediate. And the other one is f4. Oh, mate. Nice. Check. Queen h4. In the game, I didn't have this because he had a queen on d3 and he could always play queen h3, but not here. Check. Rook f2. And then I take with the queen and I can go back because my bishop will be taking g1 away from his king. That's a pretty cool checkmate. So, yeah. Rook h5 was always an idea. Wasn't so easy to see that I had to play bishop c7 first, but my move is still fine. I don't think he should survive this or anything. f4. Yeah, this was what I had calculated. I mean, I really wanted to do this. The problem is he gets too many pieces for the queen. I mean, when you calculate the variation where you win a queen, but you're letting go of some pieces, do the math. I mean, you might just be losing material, and I was losing material here. And I had calculated this, but he has two rooks and a knight. That's not cool. I mean, that's more than he should get. It's two rooks for the queen. That's the typical imbalance, but he has an extra knight. And yeah, I do have some pawns, but the pawns are not advanced. If you're going to count pawns for compensation, they better be doing something pretty good. And my pawns are all on the second rank. I mean, it's really no match to the power of these coordinated pieces. So yeah, definitely I can't or shouldn't do this at least. And I got a bit over-enthusiastic here over rook takes h2 because I had seen king takes, check, king g1 and check, which would be fantastic, but then I realized he had this. That's why at one point I said, oh, I found something. No, I didn't. This move is just ruining all my hopes. So, well, upon seeing this, I had to change my strategy, unfortunately. Well, I played rook h5 anyway, but after f4, just go bishop c7. If the sacrifice you're intending doesn't work, don't be ashamed of admitting it. I mean, I had no problem going back because, well, I'm up a pawn. I don't need to do anything so crazy to win. Yeah, it's a shame this didn't work, but, well, it might in a few moves if he, for example, plays something like, I don't know, queen b1, and then I can sacrifice and it'll be pretty nice, but he went to the king side, which apparently isn't best, but yeah, there's no big difference really. I took here rook f5 is good because there's really no way to defend that pawn. On rook f1, I can take. Brilliant is a bit of an overstatement, but it is a good move. I get a second pawn for it, and because he can't take twice, I'm checkmating on the back rank. He took once, but now he can't go queen takes f4. I go queen e1 check, queen f1 only move, and then I checkmate. That was the whole point. So he played queen f2, and then queen e3. Just, well, I have a minute and 43 seconds. I have to play quickly, and I figured an endgame would be more or less reasonable here because, well, I win the endgame. I have 2 extra pawns. My bishop is better than his knight. I mean, I have everything going for myself. And the only way I can blunder here is if I leave his queen alive. So I just force the trade, and that bishop is no match. That knight is no match for the bishop. And you only have to be careful about the forks and stuff like that. I mean, if knight d6, I'll probably go b5, and there's no way the knight attacks anything. So I was pretty okay with this. But for example, you have to be careful at all times. For example, I go here, I go king e7 here, I blunder the fork, and I just lose the bishop. I'll have to play g6, and only then go king e7, and I might be close to trapping this knight. He'll have to go back if he doesn't want to lose it. But as long as you're just careful and always check for the forks here, you should never blunder that bishop. So g3 was played, king e7, and then I have to create passed pawns on both sides, and I should be more or less fine. I don't know if I showed good technique here. It was a bit unnecessary to give up a pawn on this side, but it was good enough, I'm sure. Here, well, that's just a trap. If he takes, I have the fork, and I win the knight because it's a fork there. And knight f3, c4. Oh no, probably bishop e3 to defend the pawn, because he can never... It's changed. I'll just push afterwards. That'll be better technique probably, but this wins. He never gets to the pawn in time. So I'm fine. B takes c, b takes c, knight d2. Well, that's just helping me push. He takes. What I was saying is that I'm winning this endgame regardless, because I have the right bishop. What do I mean about that? By that, if I had the light square bishop, I have to be a bit careful that white's king doesn't get to the corner, because I can never push him out of there with the wrong color bishop. Here I can always support my pawn to go to a1, because I just put this bishop on this diagonal, and I help with the king, and I push my pawn. And white's king will never be able to cover himself in the corner. I have the bishop to control the promotion square, so this is a win regardless of what he does. Just for argument's sake, I will show one line where black doesn't play particularly well, because here I created a barrier. I could just push my pawn and win fairly easily. But let's say I don't. Let's say I miss a little bit. I allow him to go close to the corner. He's not getting a draw, not even here. Of course, I'm not stalemating him. But with a light square bishop, this is a draw. If I put the bishop on this diagonal, it'll be a stalemate. And I don't have the right bishop to give a check and push him out of the corner. And if I get the light square bishop out of that diagonal, he just goes to b1. So he will be playing king b1 and king a1 all the time. And if I want to play bishop f5, I will just be stalemating him. But here, with the right bishop that runs through the dark squares, I can always push him away from the corner. So it gets quite easy. Now I play bishop f6 check, king b1, I push with check, and I'm making a queen. So, well, tough game. And in the opening, there was some misunderstanding of the opening by me. I didn't find that queen e2. After that, I think it ran more or less smooth. He played this e takes d6 that was really good for me. I just developed the piece and I was okay. So, well, thanks a lot for watching the video. And if you like the content, please subscribe and leave a like. I will see you in the next episode of the series. Bye bye.